All right, shalom, shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites coming day in and day out to prophesy downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. First off and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Karkadash. Divine honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. This is the brother Shapalia from GMS Chicago coming at you again with another quick lesson through the Spirit. Today's lesson is bouncing off this title. Reincarnation, is it biblical? Okay. Answer is yes. Regardless of what these other guys want to say, hey, we're set here for the defense of gospel. For the defense of the gospel. So if somebody say something contrary, then it's Romans 16 and 17. So let's investigate this way of thinking and let's see what the scriptures actually say about it. Job 14 and 1. A man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. And doest thou open thine eyes upon such a one and bringest me into judgment with thee? Because guess what? When you die, you go where? You go before Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Right? You go to the spiritual world. There you are at rest, simply put. Okay? The judgment does not, as far as the judgment being carried out, it doesn't happen in the spiritual world. It happens here on earth. Right? That's where the judgment is carried out. So, however the process is, you go to the spiritual world, you rest, the Lord tells you about the shit you did, or however it went, and you got to come back down here and serve that judgment. All right? Simply put. All right? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? All right? And that's impossible. Now, when the body dies, it's unclean, but your spirit is still clean. At the end of the day, if you understand what I'm saying, the Lord can do whatever he wants, And, but that was the question, Basically, can't nothing clean come from an unclean thing and vice versa. Verse 5, seeing that his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right? So, although we use that scripture for Esau, because every kingdom has a certain amount of days it's going to rule, all right? Every man, all right, when you're born, hey, you have your time watch. You got a certain time that you're born, and you have a certain time that you die. All right, we can't pass those bounds that the Lord set upon us, and that's for those certain bodies. Okay. It says, "Turn from him that he may rest till he shall be accomplished as a hireling his day." So it says, turn him from his rest, all right, till he should be accomplished as a hey. So, hey, we're going to get rest, or let's put it this way. I'm not talking about the rest as far as the kingdom, all right? But just like a worker clocks in and clocks out, when that time is appointed, all right, he's clocking out. If he clocks in at 8 and he clocks out at 8, that appointed time is 8 p.m. All right, and then he'll see his rest. Okay. Verse 7, for there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. Now, those are trees. Now, the Lord have likened us to trees, all right? Just like Romans 11. Those branches being cut off, but grafted back in, right? But let's keep on going. Though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground, yet through the scent of water will it bud, and bring forth brose like a plant. All right. So that water is like the spirit for plants. It refreshes it. It brings it back to life. The same with us. We get that breath blown in us. All right. We're brought to life spiritually. Okay. Now let's get into it. Verse 10. But man dieth and wasteth away. Yea, he giveth up the ghost. Where is he? All right. And these bodies don't come back. All right. When the spirit leaves these bodies, it goes to the Father. Now, only in certain cases have certain bodies have been reanimated, and those were for miracle purposes only. But 9 times out of 10, all right, a dead body is not coming back to life, and that's what it's stating. So a man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They should not wake, nor should they be raised out of their sleep. All right. So when you dig into that, the heavens are going to be here forever. All right. The only heaven that's going to be destroyed will be Esau's rulership. All right. But the heavens, the stars, the sun, moon, that's going to be here forever. So in parabolic form, basically saying dead bodies do not rise up. 9 times out of 10. All right. Unless it's for miracle purposes. Like you have Elijah laying on that boy's body. You have Paul, or was it Peter? I know Paul died. You know, he went to the spiritual world, came back. The boy sitting in the window broke his neck. Peter or Paul brought him back. They did miracles. They brought people back from the dead. When Yahushua passed away, what happened? The graves opened up. So those were for certain. Hey, Lazarus. So those were for certain miracle purposes that those things happen. But 9 times out of 10, a dead body does not get up and reanimate itself. All right. So that's why it's written like this. So man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep. Oh, that thou wouldest hide me in thy grave, and thou wouldest keep me secret until thy wrath be past, that thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me. So Job going through all this shit, he said, I just wish I was in the grave. At least I would be at peace. Matter of fact, let me get it. Yep, Sirach 30:17. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. What was Job going through during this time? So that's why he said what he said. But don't worry, it's more. Verse 14, if a man die, shall he live again? Question mark. All the days of my appointed time, I wait until my change come. Now, what change was he talking about? All right, when you die, we have earthly bodies, all right? And when we die, we have heavenly bodies. We go back to our first estate, if you will, all right? Where you don't eat, you don't get tired, you're just at pure rest. You don't have sex, you don't have children, none of that. And there's scriptures talk about that. Now, that's one part of the resurrection, all right? But there's another resurrection as far as us being changed in the twinkling of an eye. Because in Matthew 19, the Lord told Peter that you should receive 100-fold, wives, children, so on and so forth, for following me, right? Now, how is Peter and them going to receive 100-fold? There's no record of Peter having 100 plus kids, vice versa. No, that hasn't happened yet. Nor can Peter do that in his first estate as a regular spirit. These bodies we're about to get, that's part of the new covenant, all right? They're going to be spiritual and physical, where we're going to be able to lay with our women, the other nations, concubines, things of that nature, and have children, all right? When you go to that first estate, just like Yahushua said, they're not married. So these are going to be a different fashion of bodies that the Lord is having prepared for us, okay? So the change, like Job said, I wish you would just hide me until that wrath was come. The change Job was hoping for, hey, send me to the spiritual world until all this bullshit is over. All right? That's what Job was saying. All right? So I'm going to go from now Let's get some examples. 2 Edges 14 and 34 and 35. Therefore, if so be that ye should subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye should be kept alive. And after death, listen, after death ye shall retain mercy. And after death shall the judgment come, which we shall live again. When do we live again? When do we live again? All right? No, I'm not about to sit up here and tell you this person was this person, that person was that person, or I'm this person, this person. No, there's no remembrance of former things. All right? It's literally the circle of life. Where the hell do you think Esau gets it from? But we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly should be declared. Well, where does that happen at? Where is our works being manifested at? Right here on earth. We're doing the righteous works of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They're being manifested right now. The world are seeing them. And the works of an ungodly are being declared right now. So ultimately, the Lord is going to come back to judge this place. Okay? And another thing, that great terrible day of the Lord where we all should appear before the throne, everybody's not going to be in the spiritual world if that's what you niggas think. No. Hey, the chariot alone is a throne, man. You could read about that in Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. So when Yahweh Shai comes, all right, which he is the express image of his Father, right, that's the judgment throne right there. What about Revelations 1? Matter of fact, let me grab that. Now, this was years after Yahweh Shai ascended to the heavens, right? It says, Revelations 1:7, behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him. It said every eye. Every fucking eye, okay? Are you listening? And they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Ever so, amen. That hasn't happened yet. So when did Yahweh Shai return with the clouds back then, and those Romans who pierced him seen him? This was talking about a different lifetime, a different time period. All right? So those men are somewhere, and it said every eye is going to see him. All right? Whether you looking in the sky, you see Yahweh Shai, whether you watching it on news, it don't matter. Hey, remember, the Lord is going to wake people up out of their graves. Some are going to be for the elect, the ones who died in Hamashiach, and the rest of you niggas are going to get judged. All right? Hey, it said everybody who's not written in the book of life is going to be cast into the lake of fire. So a lot of you niggas are going to get raised up out your graves just to get judged by fire, simply put. In fact, let me see if I could grab that. All right, here we go. Right. John 5:28. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, and that they which are in the grave shall hear his voice and shall come forth. Right. That's talking about bodies being reanimated. Now, if y'all whole thing is people ain't reincarnated or things of that nature, well, this is a light form of it. All right, they're coming back in those exact bodies, and like I said, 9 times out of 10, that doesn't happen. Only for miracle purposes, and this is a miracle right here. It shall come forth. Okay, so where are they going to be at? Are they going to be in the spiritual world, or are they going to be here on earth getting judged? Huh? Nazariah? No, you don't go before the Lord in the spiritual world and serve out your judgment. Now, the judgment may be given to you, but you serve it out here on earth. All right? But let me keep on going. It shall come forth, and they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, which is only going to be the elect, and they which have done evil to the resurrection of damnation. And what's that damnation? That fire, man. All right? That fire, man. So that when that last trump, and we change in the twinkling of an eye, first them that died in Hamashiach, they're going to be risen out of their graves, transfigured, basically. All right? Because we can't take these, we ain't going to be in this flesh. And then we going to meet them in the air, like the scriptures say. So that's where it happens at, man. 2nd Ezra 15:11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as I did before and destroy the whole land thereof, right? Now, I brought this out because ancient Egypt is gone. So what Egypt is this talking about? When the plagues and things are going to strike again? Well, let's go to 16:16, 2nd Esdras. Like an arrow which is shot by a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that are sent upon the earth shall not return. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? What days is Esdras talking about? Because Esdras didn't go through this in his lifetime. So why would Esdras say, who shall deliver me in those days? Because the concept of reincarnation was already understood. Just like when people ask, Yahushai, or people say you're the prophets, people say this, so on and so forth. The concept of reincarnation was understood. And I got plenty of scriptures that's about to prove it. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrow and great mournings. Same thing you read in the gospel. This is the beginning. All right? The beginning of famine, of great death, beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So what is he's talking about Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? That's why I brought out 2nd Esdras 15:11. The Lord is going to smite Egypt, which is Babylon the Great. All right? It's going to smite them with plagues. And Esdras said, man, who's going to deliver me in those days? That's reincarnation right there. You don't live once and that's it. Like, you niggas are, you bugging out, man. Psalm 78:39. For he have remembered that they were but flesh, a wind that passed away and coming not again. That's talking about the actual flesh. Our spirits come back. Not this actual flesh. It decayeth and go to the ground. It sees corruption. It decayeth. Okay? Oh, what about the 3 heads in 2nd Esdras? It says the head shall rest, and at the end they shall wake up out of their sleep. But I guess you niggas forgot about scripture. And those was Edomites, man. How much more Israelites? They could get reincarnated and come back. But see, you niggas are too deep for yourselves, man. What about the 3 heads in 2nd Esdras? I believe that's 11 and chapter 12. Let me keep on going. Job 14:10. Oh, when the man died, where do his spirit go? Hey, Ecclesiastes 12:7. Now, it doesn't tell you how long that spirit stays up there, but that spirit eventually comes back. All right? Job 19:25 and 27. For I know my Redeemer liveth, which is Yahweh Shai, all right? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, all right? And that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth, the latter day. And although after my skin worms destroy this body, right? His body is going to see corruption as far as it decaying. Yet in my flesh will I see the power, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. So he said he's going to see him in the flesh. He says this. He's going to see in that latter day, basically Yahweh Shai cracking those clouds in his flesh. That's reincarnation. Don't worry, I got more for you. Ecclesiastes 3:16. And like you guys say, basically y'all sound like vocab. He wasn't Elijah coming back. He just came in the steed or in the spirit of Elijah. No, that was the same person. Different body, man. Just like changing fucking clothes. That's why I said we left our first estate. Our spirits are always the same. We just come back in different flesh. So reincarnation is very biblical. Don't worry, I got more precepts. Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. What's under the sun? Earth. And wickedness was there. All right? Place of judgment ain't the spiritual world. It ain't. You get your judgment in the spiritual world as far as what you're going to have to carry out here on earth. But nobody is tortured in the spiritual world or going through bullshit. Matter of fact, should be Job, the 3rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. Like Job was saying, you should just left me in the grave. Right. Job 3:11 says, why die I not in the womb, right? So I'm gonna keep on going. Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out the belly? Why did the knees prevent me? Or why did the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet and should have slept. That's what sleep means, rest. You did, man. Just like those 3 heads. All right. Then should I have been at rest with the kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or the princes which had gold or filled their houses with silver, or as an untimely birth, had I not been as infants which never saw light. And nobody's born being innocent. Okay, that's a side note. Where the wicked cease from troubling, and where the weary be at rest, where the prisoners rest together, they hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is the light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in the soul, which long for death, but it come not, and dig for it more than hid treasures, which rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave. So it says everybody is there at rest. All right? Simply put. Now, you niggas used to go into chambers and different. Listen, y'all tweaking. Y'all making something simple more harder than it is, man. Just because you want to seem deep. Basically, you kicking against the pricks. Everything's that we teach, you guys just go against. Really, you just waxing worse and worse. All right? We're building the temple, and you got cats like Vocab that comes against this, and other niggas that comes against the doctrine. And you Bacardi ass niggas, go look that up. It's in Maccabees. You Bacardi ass niggas want to join these heathens and stop the progress of building the temple. Guess what? That's not going to happen. Romans 3:3. But whatever. In the place, just back to Job 3:16. Moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, in the place of righteousness. In the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. And I said in my heart, Yahweh should judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and every work. Okay? Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing which hath been, it is that should be. And the thing that which is done is that which should be done, and there is no new thing under the earth. So hey, we're reincarnated, man. All right? We just come back in this flesh, but our spirits are the same. History repeats itself, man. 70 AD is going to happen again, but it's not going to be called 70 AD. It's going to be called Jacob's Trouble. All right? Check this out. Hold on. Hey, Trees, turn the oven on 500. Shalakia, brothers. Matthew 19:27. And Peter then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. And what shall we have therefore? Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, which have that ye which have followed me in the regeneration. Now let's get that. Let's get that. Now it says, who have followed. Followed. That's past tense, for the record. But nonetheless, because see, their regeneration is just the renewing of the mind. But guess what? I got a cut for that. Well, not a cut. I got something that's going to make you see it a little bit better. All right? Yeah, we do become a new creature. Yeah, we do become a new man. The renewing by the washing of the Holy Spirit, right? Now, new birth, reproduction, renewal, recreation, regeneration, all right? And it's really both, all right? It says renovation, regeneration, the production of new life consecrated to the Most High, a radical change of mind for the better, all right? Restoration, all right? Renovation of the earth after, okay, so basically renewed, all right? Follow me in regeneration. So that regeneration is not just talking about us being a new creature. All right, it actually goes into this flesh too, because the scripture going to explain it more. All right, the scripture is going to explain it better than me. Let me get it. So that's the Greek word that's the definition for regeneration. And everyone that have forsaken houses, brethren, sisters, fathers, mothers, or wives, children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. All right? Which means the Lord is going to have, for us to have children, we're going to have new bodies, man. And it's not going to be like the first estate. It's going to be better than the first estate. All right? Because those certain angels, hey, they don't eat, they don't have sex, none of that, man. All right? Now check this out. I'm going to use this precept for regeneration. All right? This is Sirach 27:9. The birds will resort unto they like. So will truth return unto them that practice in her. How does the truth return to you? If you got the truth, how does it return to you? Well, obviously, you would have to had it in a past lifetime. That's the regeneration. You always had this mindset once upon a time. And like I said in Matthew's, that goes for both the actual flesh and the spirit. The Lord been sealed his elect. So they always had that state of mind. Now a righteous man falleth 7 times. We fuck up, we sin, but we're sealed. Nobody can hold nothing against, nobody can hold a charge against the Lord's elect. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. All right? But here, this is a clear example of reincarnation. The birds will resort unto like their like, so will truth return unto them that practice in her. How does something return that you practice? You practice it in another lifetime. You had it in another lifetime. But see, that goes right over you niggas' heads. Let's get another example of this. Luke 22:32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith faileth not. Now, this saying in Luke right here, you can only find in Luke. When you cross-reference them, you don't see this part that's about to be said. So it's found in Luke. And when thou art converted, when you newly changed, all right, strengthen thy brother. Well, actually, let's get it. Luke 22:32. Luke 22 and 32. Let's get converted. To turn to worship the Most High, cause to return, to bring back. Right? If Peter already knew the truth, why would he have to be converted again? Huh? Guess what? At some point in time, Sirach 27 and 29 was going to happen to Peter. That's why I linked it up with Luke 22 and 32. That truth was going to come back to Peter, and he would have to strengthen his brethren and comfort them. Right? The spirit of the prophets is subjected to the prophets. Just like the scripture says, let the righteous still be righteous and let the wicked still be wicked. All right? We come back in our certain lots. That's it. You niggas just want to kick against the pricks. Hey, Revelations 20 and 5. But the rest of the dead live not until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath his part in the first resurrection. On such, the second death have no power. What's the second death? Lake of fire, man. All right. And he should reign with him 1,000 years, because you're co-heirs with Yahweh Shai. All right. And then in that first resurrection, we're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Yeah, you do have another resurrection as far as you die, you go to the spiritual world. All right. And therefore, when we do change in that twinkling of an eye, we're going to have the new covenant where we can't sin, we can't go off, things of that nature. All right. But this is you niggas. 2 Timothy 2 and 16. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they which increase, for they will increase unto more ungodliness, which you guys have proven. And their words shall eat as doeth a canker, in whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus, who concerning the truth have erred. You ITR niggas have erred. Simply put, I ran into a couple of you niggas, yeah? Oh, I just spoke you up. Hey, listen, when I see you guys in the street, shalom, because that's what the scriptures tell us to do. All right? But you niggas go off. I ain't about to call your goddamn show, link up with you personally and debate these scriptures, because if you can't get them from the video or you can't get them from her, you ain't going to get them. All right? You ain't going to get them. Listen, our job is just to be set in defense of the gospel. You say some shit, we're going to correct it. We ain't giving you niggas no light, no none of that. All right? We are simply doing what Micah tells us to do. Him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. We making a distinction between those two. Okay? Whom concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrown the faith of some, which you guys are doing. So that blood is on your hand. Luke 20 and 35. All right? But they which have accounted shall be accounted worthy to attain that world, the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given into marriage, neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto angels and are the children of Yahweh, being children of the resurrection. And that's why I said, your first estate, we don't do none of that. So for Matthew 19, when it says we're going to get 100-fold children, for that to be true, it has to be a different fashion from this resurrection that I'm reading about in here. Okay? Because we're flames and ministering fire. But these bodies the Lord is about to give us now is on a whole different level. All right? Matter of fact, 1 Corinthians 15 and 39. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh for men, another flesh for beasts, another of fishes, another of birds, and also celestial bodies, and the bodies terrestrial. The glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, and one star different from another star is in glory. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is risen to incorruption, and is sown in dishonor, it is raised into glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised in a spiritual body. There is a natural body, and there is a spiritual body. And so it was written that the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. And the last Adam was what? A quickening spirit, which was Yahweh Shai, okay? And Yahushua got glorified when he went to go sit on his Father's side. Howbeit, that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterwards that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthly. The second man is of the Lord from the heavens. Simply put, this is my son who I'm well pleased in, right? As is the earthly, such are they also are of the earthly. And as is the heavenly, such are they also are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the earthly, we shall also borne the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven, neither corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We should not all sleep, but we should be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. Now Paul said we all wasn't going to sleep, which means, hey, in a certain lifetime, hey, we may not all die. We may just be changed in the twinkling of an eye. What did Yahushua say to his disciples? Some of you should not taste death. All 12 tasted death. So what was Yahushua talking about? Another lifetime. In this last trump, some of them wasn't going to taste death. They was just going to transfigure, so to speak. In the twinkling of an eye at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and the mortal must put on immortality. So when the corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and the mortal have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. We're going to have victory over death. We ain't going to die no more. So this resurrection is different than the resurrection where we just die and go to the spiritual world. All right. It's a new fashion of bodies, so to speak. All right. Because we're going to appear just like Yahushua. Did it not say Yahushua is going to drink wine? All right. We're going to drink wine. We're going to have children. We're going to have all of that. 2 Ezra 2:43. In the midst of them, there were a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel, and he said unto me, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh, which are received crowns and received palms. All right. So we're doing that now, starting with our minds, man. We're taking off the corruptible and putting on the incorruptible. But when we get the new covenant, where the laws are going to be written in our hearts, that's going to be, hey, we're going to be solidified, man. We're going to be, immortality is living with the laws perfectly, man. Not being able to go off. And also not being able to die. Salakia. Matthew 27:50. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept, right, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, went into the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yahushua saw the earthquake and those things which are done, they feared greatly and said, Truly, this was the Son of the Most High. All right. Now that's an example of people getting put back in that same flesh. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to return in that same flesh. All right. So when you read scriptures that, a man don't return if again, that's what it's talking about. You don't return to these same bodies. Only in special cases you do. And those special cases are miracles. But let's check this out. Here's a cup for you. John 9:1. And Yahushua passed by and saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents? For he was born blind. So if he was born blind from birth, why would the disciples ask him who did sin? His parents or him? When would he have an opportunity to sin? It would have to be in another lifetime. But that went over you guys' heads too. And this was basically, the miracle was basically he was blind because Yahweh Shai had to do this miracle, man. And it was symbolic too, man. But yeah, y'all can read the rest of it all the way to verse 11. But that's the main point. Like I said, the concept of reincarnation was known back then. That's why they said, who did sin, this man or his parents? If he was born blind, that means to get that judgment, he would have to do something in another lifetime. But it wasn't about judgment then. It was about that miracle that Yahweh Shai had to do. All right? Deuteronomy 28 and 36 and 37. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, into a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations, whether Yahweh shall lead you to. All right? So King David had to go through this curse. Yeah, hold on. King David had to go through this curse. So when did that happen? It's Hosea 3 and 5. And here's the point. Afterwards, to the children of Israel return and seek their Lord power in David their king, and shall fear Yahweh in his godliness in the latter days. So we're in the latter days, but it said we should what? We should seek Yahweh our power in King David. So obviously King David would have had to been around during these last days. So what are you guys talking about? That's another example of reincarnation. Not all the people we could pimp, this person was this person. Certain people we can, but other people we can't. The fact is reincarnation is biblical. All right? Psalms 110 and 1 through 2. And now these scriptures about to start getting you. All right? And Yahweh said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand side till I make thy enemies thy footstool. And the Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion to rule over the midst of thy enemies. So why would King David say the Lord said unto my Lord? How did he know that? And he was talking to his son. Acts 2 and 30. Therefore, being a prophet, knowing that Yahweh has sworn unto him an oath, sworn with an oath to him, that the fruits of his loins, which was Solomon, according to the flesh, shall rise up. It will rise up Mashiach to sit on his throne. All right, which Yahweh Shai did come out of that bloodline. He, seeing this before, spake of the resurrection of Mashiach, that his soul was not left in hell, neither did his flesh see corruption, which means decay. Then Yahweh Shai, have Yahweh risen up, wherefore we are witnesses. Therefore, being on the right hand side of the power exalted, and having received of the Father the promise of the Holy Ghost, which he have shed forth this, which ye now see and hear, for David has not ascended to the heavens, but he saith himself, the Lord saith unto my Lord, sit thou at the right hand until I make thy foes thy footstool. All right? Who sat on King David's throne? Solomon. Who was to sit on there for eternity? Yahweh Shai, which was the same person. Same spirit, if you will. But let's read it in Matthews. Matthews 22 and 41. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahweh Shai asked them, saying, what think ye of Mashiach? Whose son is he? Then they said unto him, the son of David. Who's the actual son of David? Solomon. He said to them, how doeth David in spirit call him Lord? Saying, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand side till I make thy enemies thy footstool. If David then called him Lord, how is he his son? So this was talking about Solomon, which was Mashiach. Well, which was to be Mashiach. All right? It says, no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. And that's the cut, tying up the Acts 2 in the Psalms 110. Just like Peter knew in the spirit who Hamashiach was, guess what? King David knew in the spirit who Solomon was. And they the same people, both of them. Whether you could receive that or not. Revelations 22:16. I, Yahushua, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and offspring of David, the bright and morning star. Who's the root of David? Adam. We all come from Adam. That's the root. Okay? Who's the offspring? Solomon. Now let's get into it. 2 Samuel 7:12. When thy days be fulfilled, so when David, it was his time to die, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom, which the Lord is talking about Solomon right now. He shall build my house for my name, and I will establish his throne and his kingdom forever. And I will be his father, he shall be my son. And if he commit any iniquity, I will chastise him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Which happened? Isaiah the 53rd chapter. Solomon went off, but when did Solomon pay for that? As Yahushua. That's why when you read Hebrews, it says he offered up first for his sins and then the people. All right, we know that Yahushua as Adam went off and Yahushua as King Solomon went off before he was perfected. All right. But my mercy shall not depart away from him as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. And thy house and thy kingdom should be established forever and ever before thee. All right, that same kingdom written about in Daniel's the 7th chapter. And thy throne should be established forever, according to all these words and according to all this vision. So did Nathan speak unto Daniel. All right. So Solomon and Yahushua are the same spirit. Hey, go read Proverbs the 8th chapter. You can figure it out for yourself. Romans 5:14. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over those who have not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come, which was Yahushua. So clearly you just stated that Adam was the figure of him that was to come. Adam was Yahushua if you could receive it. But not as the offense. So also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of Yahweh and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yahushua Mashiach. First for his sins, like Hebrews say, then for the people's, like I just quoted, have to bound unto many, and not as if it was by one that sinned, so is the gift. For the judgment was by one to condemnation, but the free gift is to many, is of many offenses unto justification. For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yahushua Mashiach. All right. So the tab was paid in full, if you get it. All right, Galatians 3:16. And I ended with this one. Now to Abraham and his seed, which the promises were made, he saith not to seeds, all right, because Abraham had Isaac too, right? As of many, but to one. So that who's the one seed that had the promise? Isaac, right? But as one, and to thy seed, which is Mashiach. So it just said that seed, which was Abraham's, that was chosen. It says that seed, which is Mashiach. Isaac was, which he was the sacrificial lamb. I mean, but a lot of this shit will go over you niggas' head. Listen, y'all trying to be too deep just to kick against the pricks. Reincarnation is very biblical. If you can't see it, so what? Certain people, we know who they were coming back through the spirit, just like Peter knew through the spirit. Other people, we don't. I can't tell you how many times I've been down here or who I was in the past. But obviously, Sirach 27 says, wisdom returneth to them that practice it. It said that Peter, after he was converted, which he was already converted, he will have to strengthen his brethren. When did Peter ever lose the truth? Or John the 9th chapter with the man being blind from birth. Why did the disciples say who did sin, him or his parents? Well, why would they say that? And John, when Yahushua said John the Baptist, this was Elijah, that's the clearest cut. But you guys want to say, well, he came in the spirit of Elijah. Whatever, man. Yahushua clearly said that was Elijah, man. But, oh well. Hey, like I said, we stand for the defense of the gospel. If you niggas can't get it, so be it. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Makar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, great millstone, and salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. Abba, Babal.